Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 1:30 workshop of the Board of County Commissioners. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I've got a little bit of an adjustment here. We're going to move our discussion with our road and bridge first. So Rob, if you would come on down. And I'll give a brief synopsis of this. This was kind of a request that Rob had at our last BOCC meeting last Tuesday. Travis and I did have the opportunity to go out and get with him. We had a overage or a budget shortfall of $512,000. We did go out and look at the road impact fees that were paid for 2022 for usable road impact fees. I do have that list, and if you want to display it, I can give it to you. But with what he has got penciled in here, and it does meet the criteria of the 5-mile radius around the impact fees that have been paid, and we can collect, or we have there $529,589 that we can utilize. So we definitely will meet the $512,000 shortage, and we'll still be able to get all of these road projects for 2023 as displayed, which is on the screen. So basically a quick synopsis, Rob, if you want to add anything to that.
No, I couldn't say it better myself.
So we did, have the opportunity to meet with Rob. We did say in our meeting that we'd go meet with him. Travis and I were able to meet with him. And in a nutshell, we have enough money to do it, and there's no reason to not go ahead and pursue these road projects that were displayed.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
Okay.
Quick and easy.
Kind of that simple.
There might be some changes a little bit along the way before now when we would use this as far as coming and going with different road ideas or different impact fees, but it'll still be roughly that 512 is where we're going to end up at. So,
Yeah.
As far as the work goes and things like that. So
Correct. And then obviously, like anything, it can move a little bit.
fluctuate a little bit
Yeah.
with different reasons, but
So that way, with that being done, we can go ahead and get the oil secured for the chip seal and the overlay, and that way he can get it scheduled. But if there's no other questions or comments on that, I think.
I don't have any. I looked that over and it looks good to me, Rob.
okay, good. Yeah. There's the other one was the blade patching. With we had a lot less money budgeted this year, but with the winter we've had and the damage we're seeing on the road, on the chip seal roads, we're going to be needing a lot more of that to fix those roads up and cover them with chip seals. So just things changed this winter with a good winter we had. So
Yep. And nobody's complaining about it. It's the money's there, so
That's
we'll
right.
utilize it on the roads.
yep. So it's
Okay.
it's a good way to get caught back up here until we get this bridge built and some other money that's tied up free again. So
Yep. Just quickly on Road P, I did see you guys had some equipment mobilized.
yeah, we got started last Thursday, actually Wednesday afternoon and Thursday all day, and then we cut the upper bench for the east side, or west side, and we're trimming it down today a little lower, and then we'll clean out the culvert out of the washout area. There's still a bunch of that 6-foot culvert in there and get it cleaned out, shaped out, hopefully by this evening, and then start laying pipe, or cutting trench and laying pipe tomorrow on the west barrel. Hopefully we'll pour flow fill on it Wednesday and start covering Thursday. And then the following Monday, go back to the original washout, build a cofferdam, clean that area out, dry it up, start a fill, and come up and then cut a new trench to put the other barrel in. So hopefully in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, we should be pretty much just putting fill over the road and bringing it back up to grade again. So
Good.
Yeah.
Good deal.
so everything's moving along. Good weather, that helps a lot. Just give us a day or two of sunshine, and it makes it a lot easier. So
Yeah, we'll take a couple weeks of good weather to
Yeah.
start fixing some of the issues that we
Yeah.
have.
And then in the meantime, we're chasing water out at Lewis and Yellow Jacket area. It started flowing over the weekend or last night. And of course, Dolores, you've heard all about the runoff over there. So it's another crew being busy chasing water, just like we were 2 weeks ago here in Cortez. So
Yeah. Thank you for getting all that sand out there for those people
Oh, yeah,
also.
we was happy to help, yeah. Finally got so busy with them guys, we just gave them the gate key and said, here, help yourself. And they shoveled sand as they needed it from down to Dolores and where they needed it, so it worked out well, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
All right,
If you
thanks.
want to stick around just a
will.
little
I'll
bit,
sit-
I'll
yeah, I'll sit
go ahead
down.
and bring, I think, these gentlemen up next as
Okay.
far as this U.S. Forest Service contract. Ladies, forgive me, I'm going to move you around a little bit, but I'll get to you just as quickly as possible.
Thank you, gentlemen, for getting me on your agenda. David's gonna sit back there. My name is Travis Brick. I'm with the Forest Service, and we got kind of a weird situation.
Can I get you to pull that mic
Oh,
closer to
closer?
you because the people in YouTube land, we
Okay.
can hear you fine, but
I
it's hard to get picked up on the TV.
So we kind of got a weird situation with a road that's not even your road. But the road from Dolores County 16 that goes down to the Bradfield Bridge, we're hauling a bunch of wood off the glade up there. And that road got in pretty bad shape. Again, it's a Dolores County road, but the issue is there's rock at the Ormiston pit, which is in Montezuma County. And the Forest Service we cannot spend money on county roads. So ultimately what I'm asking or what I'm hoping to get is for Montezuma County to donate 5,000 tons of rock to Dolores County so that we can put it on that section of road. It's a weird request. I
That's
know you're gonna have questions, so ask me
Well,
questions.
Yeah, because there's a fiscal note with 5,000 tons of material. I mean, so to donate 5,000 tons of material, not even in our county, we're using Montezuma County taxpayer money. Do you see what I'm
I
saying?
understand.
I mean, it's
I don't think it's actually Montezuma County rock. I think it's Forest Service rock. But I can't use Forest Service rock on a county road.
I understand that, but to crush the rock and the fiscal note that we have to produce it, there's still a fiscal note with that. You
Correct.
understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So that's an odd request.
It's an odd request.
I don't think I've never heard that one before. So Dolores County doesn't have the rock?
They don't have the rock. Because the Ormiston pit, where the rock is sitting right now, is in Montezuma County.
It's in Dolores County.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
But you guys crushed,
We-
didn't Montezuma County crushed it?
Rob, if you want to come on down, I think and I would agree with Rob unless I'm wrong, but that pit sits in Dolores County and we crush that material. It is a Forest Service pit, however, we work out of that pit
Yes,
all the time.
in Dolores
So
County, yes.
I guess that's my question. It's in Dolores County, and I don't know if they have an agreement with the Forest Service there, but it's, anyway.
It was
go
my
ahead, Rob.
understanding Montezuma crushed the rock, so it was your.
We do.
It was your rock. They don't have any rock there. Dolores County doesn't have any
No,
rock.
they generally purchase it from us or trade for it if they want some.
Right. And so they don't have any, and they don't have the money to buy it. And so what I was hoping was to get it donated to them so that we can put it on that section of road. Again, it's a weird request. I knew it was going to be.
Yeah, that's.
And it's not your problem at all. It's not even in your county.
Right, yeah, I mean, now we're crossing jurisdictional lines, and
I
to
completely.
be honest with you, and we can't make any decisions today. I mean, we can have it on our agenda for tomorrow, and I think it is. We can have further discussions when our third commissioner gets here,
Understood.
but I kind of struggle. I mean, our road dollars are for our road and bridge, and therefore, they're in Montezuma County. Even to make this donation, there's still a fiscal note with just the crushing of that material. So 5,000 tons is still a pretty big fiscal note.
Yeah. It's
Of
thir-
Montezuma County, just like what we were talking about earlier, we have a $512,000 shortfall to fix our own roads this year. And I guess I don't get real warm and fuzzy about donating 5,000 tons of material. And I understand what you're saying. And you're using it for a logging operation to get the trucks out of basically the hill.
Correct. It's we upgraded the entire road from the bridge all the way, because it's Forest Service or BLM roads.
Sure.
But we couldn't do the county road, that
Right.
section from the bridge up to the steep part
Yep.
going up. Because
So
it
that-
wasn't, because it wasn't our road.
Mile and a half or whatever it is, 2 miles. Not very far.
It's not, it's like a mile or
Yeah,
maybe something
mile.
like that.
That's tough. But
Yeah,
one thing to look at is we do have an agreement with the Forest Service to maintain that section of road and on the Forest Service side of the bridge while we're crushing or hauling out of there. There might be a way to work out a deal with the Forest Service to take care of this under our maintenance clause, under our contract to crush. Normally, that just means water and blade and maintain it while we're using it. But there's an opening to discuss if you choose, so. Because we do have to commit to that part of that road every year when we're hauling out of there. So not hauling gravel, we're spreading gravel, but maintaining the gravel that Dolores County puts down, so.
Right. Your request is just to donate the gravel.
Yeah, once the what we really need from the Forest Service point is we need some way, a letter or a path that we could show that the rock that's in the pit, and the Forest Service has the rock in the pit as well, but we cannot put it on a county road.
Sure,
What we
I-
need is
He needs me to.
a letter that says
That's-
Montezuma County donated this rock. So then it's not,
Or Montezuma
or-
County used the rock to fix the road.
or
that they have a
Montezuma
contract
County
to
used the
do.
rock to fix the road. They will have a contractor, someone actually haul and put the rock on the road and fix it. And then at least we have documentation that says that was not Forest Service rock that was put on that road. It's really more of a paper, it's a CYA type of a thing that we need. My engineers are telling me, Cody's telling me, I have to have something because I can't put that,
No,
our rock on that.
I understand it. They're saying they can't put anything on because it's not a Forest Service road. And I'm saying it's in Dolores County
Yeah.
and I'm in Montezuma County and we're producing rock that's not even for our county. So I'm a little, I don't know, Commissioner, what are your thoughts?
I think we ought to take this under advisement first.
I,
And Rob, how much do you have stored up there?
I've got about 5,000 ton of 1.5 inch, and then I've got 3/4, a little pile left, but not enough to do this. And I was planning on going back up and crushing this spring, but the Forest Service, it's their rock, but they have a huge pile of the 1 inch. So it could be a flip-flop, it can be a trade out. We do this kind of trading with Dolores County and the Forest Service from time to time, under our Schedule A agreements and our pit use agreements. There's all these in-house agreements that cover us, it's just how do you word it for this particular project.
Right.
I will give Dolores County a lot of credit. Over the last several years, they've done a lot of work on that road, getting in and out of there. They put limestone in it, they hauled it out of Utah. They've done the best they could for the use that road gets, and they probably just don't have the money this year or the gravel to put on the road, if you want to know the truth. And there's gravel in that pit that's available, so that's probably where this is all headed from. And we use it just like everybody else uses it. We haul out of there just like everybody else does, so.
that's kind
We
of the
kinda-
only way to get to
We
it.
do, we do a good job. We put water trucks on it and blade it and keep it wet the whole time. If it's a week or 10 days or all summer, we take care of it somehow, some way, we find a way. So, we do our share of the work to keep it good, but that road does need gravel, so.
So then Dolores County would haul it, place it, and
Contractor, the logging company. was
so
willing
Dolores
to-
County is just washing their hands of it totally?
Basically, that's
In
what
their
they-
own county?
That's what they told us.
Wow.
They don't really
Yeah.
want
Okay,
anything
well
to
then
do-
I even
they were-
struggle worse.
I can't even get a pickup out of this.
The larger
That's
part
what-
of it
That's what I
was,
was thinking.
there were multiple contractors on the road. They're more or less blaming Montrose, which was the largest one, but Montrose wasn't the only one.
Sure,
An individual got stuck in the road. They hooked onto it with a dozer and they just destroyed it. It was a compilation of things, but regardless, like Rob said, that Schechter Road with all the wood that's gonna come out of there needs to get some rock put on it. And if I have to buy it on the open market from somewhere, it's gonna be expensive, and it's sitting 2 miles away in Ormiston, just sitting there, and the Forest Service has it, but we don't have any legal way to put it on
I
the
know,
road.
I know, and trust me, man, I get it, but then also too, we have the independent contractors that are gonna come back and say, well, wait a minute, now you're competing with private industry and we're paying your taxes. So this is a really tough, this is not an easy request at all.
I did.
And I hope you understand where I'm coming from, because number one, it's not even in my county.
I
And
do.
number two, Dolores County washed their hands of it totally. I'm pretty leery of it myself, but I'm one of three.
Now let us kick this around, see what
Okay.
we can come up with.
I just appreciate you letting me, like I said, I'm trying to solve a problem that's quite frankly not really my problem
No,
either.
it's
But
not.
and I know it's not yours, but
And it's
that was
not.
the simplest solution that, you know, we could come up with, because the rock is sitting so close versus hauling it from wherever it would have to come from to do it.
No, and I understand the request to get something there that's simple and easy, but I also understand the private industry side of it saying, hey, wait a minute, that's 5,000 tons of rock that I could have sold.
Understand?
I kind of struggle with this one, but we'll kick it around, and I think we do have it on for a decision. Obviously, we can't make decisions today, and maybe we even not make a decision tomorrow. We might have a further conversation with Rob in Dolores County. I will actually probably be with one of their commissioners Thursday, Friday in Denver, so
Okay.
I'll have another conversation. What is your time frame? Probably sooner than later.
Yeah, sooner, whenever. I mean, I don't know if you could do it right now with the moisture on the road. I mean, it might take a month before you could even, I don't know how wet the road is right now, and I'm not an engineer, so I'm not the person to ask, but
Yeah,
I'm sure they wanted to do it this spring
we're
before it
all
starts to get-
familiar with the
It
road.
has bottomed out, and I know that section of road down off the hill for last year started showing severe signs of wear, and it's probably a big old rut right now, so that'd be my guess.
I appreciate you considering it at least and
You bet.
discussing it. If you got any other questions, you can let me know, or like, you can
Okay.
talk to one of our engineers who knows more about this stuff that couldn't be here today, so.
It'd be a lot easier if it was in Montezuma County.
I 100% agree. I wish it was, unfortunately, but it's not. And Dolores doesn't have any rock.
That
in
and Dolores County isn't interested. This is a unique situation, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
You know, that's whatever, so, their call, it's their road.
I know, and I really hate crossing those jurisdictional boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's a wise decision, but we'll go from there. Ian, you wanted to say something?
I just would worry a little bit about the precedent it sets.
Yeah.
I mean, because once you start crossing jurisdictional boundaries in one spot, then all of a sudden other people come asking. And the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of roads that run through neighboring counties
Sure.
that have issues. And I don't know, it's a dangerous path to go down.
Yeah, this is different in the fact that it's not ours. Usually it's our gravel. We trade with Dolores County and do it rightfully so.
And
with,
that- yeah.
something of value, and they put it wherever they want it, so.
And that makes total sense.
We don't get into any of their business where it goes or anything else, so in this case, it's a whole different circle here, so it's hard to figure this one out.
I appreciate you hearing me out at least,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
You
So,
bet.
You guys
All
have a
right.
great day.
Thank you.
very much.
Uh-huh.
We'll be in touch.
Okay, now I will go to Mesa Verde Gardeners for the use of a parking lot, and we have Miss Streett-Joslin?
Susan Rain, actually.
Oh.
Ann was not able to be here today.
All right, Susan?
And we,
Judy Larner.
I'm sorry?
Judy Larner.
Okay.
Oh, sure enough.
so the Mesa Verde Gardeners is a club. It's a nonprofit club. And it's quite old. It sort of evolved from the Cortez Garden Club back in the, about 2008. And since then has become the Mesa Verde Gardeners. And we've been doing a plant sale on Memorial Weekend on Saturday morning for years, at least since 2008, many more years than I've been involved in the club. It's become quite a community event, and we have a lot of people that wait for the sale and come to it because the gardeners in the club dig from their own gardens and sell plants that are locally grown, as well as some that are, started from seeds and things like that. But it's a fun community event that happens right as gardening season gets going in our county. And we've been using the front row seat parking lot since 2010. This year, they told us we couldn't use it. I believe there's going to be some building that goes on in that parking lot coming up.
Maybe, maybe not.
I read that there was a site plan approved, but
There is.
In any case, they don't want us to do the sale there. It's been a great location for us. But prior to that, we did use this parking lot that the farmer's market uses currently for a couple of years. And we would like to request to use that parking lot this year. And that would be Saturday, the 27th of May, from 7 in the morning
So-
until noon.
Does the farmer's market, when do they start,
It
Travis?
starts the following week.
June.
Oh, so there's no conflict.
Correct.
At least it's in our county.
Yes,
So we're good there. We're working on the right side of the road here.
right. And we think it would be a great location, partly because of the farmer's market using that space the rest of the summer.
Is there an issue with cleaning out that parking lot again like we do 1 week early? I know we get somewhat of kickback on that occasionally, but
I don't think there's a significant issue.
Okay.
Are you guys planning on doing this every year out there, or just this year?
We're just asking for permission to do it this year. We would really prefer to be more further down to the east on Main Street. Just, you know, a nice location to be down there where all the business stuff is going on, but we don't know what's going to happen with the front row seat parking lot, you know, although there is a plan for it. So we're just asking for permission for this year.
okay.
And we do all the setup and cleanup. We have the tables and some pop-ups
1
and
week early,
things.
we have no conflict, basically. So again, we can't make decisions today. This is
We
just a
understand.
conversation. We make decisions at our business meeting, which is tomorrow. So, but if you do all the setup, all the cleanup, we just have to make sure the parking lot is available. And you're talking just the same parking lot over
We're
here
just
to
talking
the
about the
west.
one that's here facing Main Street. We would assume that there's not a lot of county business on Saturday morning and that the back parking lot could be used for our customers and for people coming and going. We would use the front to set up our tables and pop-ups and for our garden club members to bring their plants in for the sale. And
Okay.
probably we would have some of our cars parked in there, but we would not want to have a lot of traffic through there because we're gonna be having tables and plants and things set
Right,
up.
similar to farmer's market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Now, is there an issue with cars that get left there overnight or anything like that on Saturday morning that we would need to be dealing with? Do
We-
people leave their cars overnight in that lot?
No, typically we'll have them moved out
I see.
into a different location. We just can't use the museum parking lot, so,
Sure,
yeah.
Which is the one directly behind the museum.
Right.
Correct.
yeah.
To the south of the museum.
So the paper that I brought explains what we do. The proceeds from the sale are used, we donate to other gardening organizations in the county, School to Farm, Fuzzy's Farm,
Morp,
Morp,
my fave.
and the community gardens. And we cooperate with them in lots of other gardening events.
Okay. I know we can't make any decisions, but
No.
I don't have any other questions. I think
Okay.
1
I'll
week
come
early is.
I'll come out of left field and say, as long as our noxious weed lady says it's okay.
Okay. If she wants to come out and talk to people, there are probably people who would love to talk to her that morning.
She should bring a list of
Yes.
the noxious weeds. That might be helpful.
There you go. We wouldn't want to be selling noxious weeds.
No, I don't think so.
Bring a list. Don't be doing that. Elm trees, no.
Yeah.
Because
Any other-
some of the noxious weeds are kind of pretty.
Yes, they are, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They are. Unless
So-
you have anything else to add, I mean, I don't
So
see a
would we
real
need
big
to come
issue.
back tomorrow, or you'll just give us a
No.
decision?
Nope, we'll just, we'll make a decision, we'll have a discussion. We're missing our third commissioner today,
See
but we'll have that discussion and then we'll make a decision and then Travis will be able to reach out to you
Great,
and you'll know by, Wednesday morning,
perfect.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you so much.
so. all
Appreciate
right.
it.
You bet.
Thank you.
ladies.
Okay. I think I'm gonna move around a little bit more because I'm kind of waiting for Commissioner Copenhaver before we talk about the resolution. What about the Mesa Verde Spruce Tree House recommendation letter? Travis, you want to bring that one up?
I thought they was gonna be here to talk about it, but it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
straightforward too. Ian, I'm sure you've probably read it. Do you have any questions or comments? I mean, it's.
No, I think it's straightforward. I mean,
It's-
yeah.
Yeah, it's just a LLC
Yep. Yep.
or LOS.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I know that Miss Locke was in here, if you would like to capture her in this.
And I don't even know that
We
Bobby
don't-
really necessarily needs to be here. I looked through this contract. It's just a continuation of a program they're doing. You know, it's the same terms, and so I think, I mean, unless you
Straight-
guys have questions,
No, it
I
was-
don't know the nuts and bolts of the program exactly. I just read the contract description, but the terms are identical, so, I don't know that there's a whole lot.
Right. And
She
just
says the
before
figures
we,
are the same.
just before we sign anything again, we'll talk about it and then bring it to you. Otherwise, I get.
It looks good to me.
All right. Well, very good. Okay, Commissioner, welcome.
Breath from getting up the stairs.
Take a minute. We're all right. We're not in a hurry. We got all the time in the world. But we will move down to the Board of Adjustments, the resolution, the appointments, and the rules. Ian did create a resolution. We did talk about this briefly the other day. And I guess really here's just for more discussion, because I'm not sure we really talked about the resolution, but the resolution is in front of you. I went back and read Ian's email, and I know that you said that when you were here the last time, Gerald, that you guys served as that, but I kind of, I'm not sure if that's the best idea.
We just figured there was so few conflicts about that.
And I understand that. I think, and to create a board that it's gonna be tough because you may not have them function for every 1, 2, 3, I mean, who knows? Who knows when they're gonna function? And I understand that too, but then I reread Ian's email and I kind of reread it again and I'm like, gosh, it makes sense that maybe we shouldn't appoint ourselves, or maybe we should appoint one
Thing of
and
it is,
somebody else.
Once you do appoint that board, you've got,
I know.
it's out of your control. It's out of your control, totally.
Mhm.
We will not be making that decision anymore.
No. So-
And I just submit, what we decided back then, and through our discussion back then, thinking back about it, is the fact that, the people elected us to do this.
Mhm.
Not for us to appoint somebody else and pawn it off on somebody else to make those decisions. And that was the big crucial thing that we decided we should just do it ourselves. That's why. I'm just explaining it to you.
Sure, no,
Agree or not agree, it doesn't matter to me, but that's what we decided. When we finally decided, because we talked about appointing a board to do it, because, there's a lot of stuff going on, but we didn't, just never had any appeals to that part of it. Very little, because everybody had the opportunity to come in here and sign up for their zoning.
Yeah,
When it
Back in
originally
your day,
started, they
right?
could come in
Yeah.
here and sign up.
They could come in and sign
And
up.
select what zoning part they wanted to be, as long as it fit in some amount.
It was an 18-month sign-up
I mean, you
period.
couldn't just come in and,
And if they didn't come up, they were either appointed a zoning or just, it was unzoned.
we just left as unzoned.
and then they changed it to the historical zone when you were here, right? And somewhere in 2004 to 2012?
We actually went through and just tried to put everything what it was, historically what it was.
Anyway, here, this is in front of us, guys, I don't know. I don't know what's right and what's wrong.
We, I mean, in all the years and plus the years I've been here so far, we haven't had an appeal. I mean,
We've had
you've had,
two, haven't we, Ian? Just within the last.
The only appeal we had of a zoning decision was, and it wasn't even a full-fledged appeal, there was a talk that Ironwood, the neighbors surrounding Ironwood were gonna make an appeal to the Board of Adjustment. But then because of what happened with Ironwood and the way that progressed, that appeal didn't happen. And so we actually haven't had an appeal to the zoning Board of Adjustment since I've been here.
Right. So there wasn't an appeal. The appeal just came to us for a decision.
Yeah, Ironwood was, there was the property next door that I think Flame Conley owned, and there was a rezoning decision made pursuant to that.
Yeah, I
And,
remember that, we did that
And
3 acre
they
lot.
reached out to me and said that they were considering making an appeal to the zoning Board of Adjustment, but they wanted to see what was gonna happen with the Ironwood enforcement and the high impact permit and everything else. And so, once that progressed, then they withdrew their request for an appeal.
and my only concern is if you appoint a board and you have one appeal every 5-6 years,
Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I understand that too, because they may never function.
no.
And then they'll go,
And the first appeal they have, they're gonna look at each other and think, what? You know,
I think you would get a lot more appeals if we were going out here and actually zoning property ourselves. You know, if we were actually going out here and making certain zones and stuff throughout the county, I think we would probably have appeals. But we're not doing that. You know, so that's what brings up appeals to me is, and things like what you're talking about where, you know,
Zoning changes to suit
yeah.
industrial purposes.
And to me, you know, I just don't think you see enough of it for us to appoint a board, because it'll be, you appoint a board and a year from now, they haven't done one thing. How many
Yeah,
of
no,
them's gonna be any,
yeah,
even
I can see
interested being
that.
on it?
I can see that for sure. Or 2 years,
That's what, yeah,
we don't know that.
I don't know.
But
That's just,
historically, if you look back in just the last 2 decades, it hasn't. It probably went well. We
I
can
don't
only
think
answer-
we ever had.
We can only answer.
yeah, we never had one.
after we did that, because we did it because of the state statute, I think that's
Just the
when it came
statute.
out, was about 2005 or some, I don't remember.
So is it a conflict in? Because in your email, it said that nobody else, no other counties.
Legally, there's a case on point that says county commissioners can serve on the Board of Adjustment.
Okay, so it,
Legally, you guys can absolutely do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I outlined what I saw as some of the pros and cons of both in the email. You know, it's really just your guys' call. I mean, you know.
Well, I mean, we could always do it different
but we
sometime.
can change it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, once the terms expire, you know, then you could do it differently.
I mean, if that did come forward being an issue in the next few years or something, then when the commission wants to change and do that, why?
Absolutely.
nothing to stop them from doing that.
Yeah, no, because these are,
Well, and
these are
it-
1, 2, and 3 year terms.
And it may be that the Board of Adjustment gets more use because now we've got a resolution that's on the books, and so I don't know. Who knows? I think that honestly, I think that there's pros and cons both ways. And I think you guys have done a good job at identifying them during your discussions, and so then it just comes down to how do you want to do it?
Okay. All right. Any other discussion that, I mean, we won't make a decision today, but,
I guess I really don't have any problem doing it either way, but I just see it's gonna be a problem, because I don't think the board's gonna get used, and it'll be like some of these others that we don't get reappointed and everything else. I'm sorry, but I I see that being part of the problem.
Well, and that's a real,
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about that. Because it's hard to get people to serve on a board anyway, and then a board that's not gonna be utilized.
Yeah.
But
It'd be one thing if you're, it's
Who
like the
knows?
planning, you know, they're meeting every month, and there you got items coming up all the time. This,
When you look at some of the big counties, I mean, it's pretty amazing how much they utilize this zoning board of adjustment. They have regular meetings, they have a full agenda. I mean, but it's a totally different world when it comes to zoning in those counties. I mean, it's just a different thing they're dealing with on a daily basis. And so, you know, in those counties, it's probably as much a matter of time as anything. I mean, the commissioners just simply don't have time to sit on this kind of stuff, so.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. All right, well then we'll move on. We'll make that decision tomorrow. Now we can talk about our discussion as it relates to the resolution that Ian put together. Thank you, looks awesome. And thank you guys for both being on that special meeting Wednesday, all three of you. This will be
It was an interesting meeting.
This will be another point of discussion up there Thursday and Friday. But I like the resolution the way it's
I do too.
written. Obviously, you write 10 times better than I ever would think of, but you should.
That's my job.
you know, it's good, look good.
I mean, and then we can approve it tomorrow, and Travis can send it to CCI, or I can take it personally, either way. But,
Hand deliver it.
well, it'll get there quicker, but I will be there this week.
I understand those counties that would just wanted to amend, but I think CCI needs to take a full stance here.
Well, and that, you obviously heard the discussion, and that's
Yeah.
what we've been wrestling with all year long, is that nobody wants to get pushed outside to just strongly oppose, but every once in a while, and you heard the testimony that
Yeah.
day, once in a while, you've got to strongly oppose something. It doesn't mean you're walking away from the table.
No,
However, it means that we strongly oppose it. And you saw the letter that CCI had written for the suggestions of why it's being opposed, so, kind of like this resolution, so.
and
If you guys,
yeah,
I think something that really came out in the discussion that I listened to was the idea that, I mean, CCI at its core is about local control. And this is usurping that. I mean, this is a huge overstep.
Totally.
absolutely.
And so, I mean, if you start with that kind of overstep, well, you can chip away at it, but it's still an overstep.
yeah.
And so if you compromise on this, then
There's
I mean,
others coming down the
it's
road.
like-
The door's wide open, so, obviously, it ended up with a 75% vote to oppose, and I think this even makes it stronger to the legislation.
And with
And I'm
CML coming, I know CCI and CML don't see eye to eye a lot of the times, but this is one of the things they do see eye to
Yeah.
eye.
So, I'm good with this. Obviously, we can't make this decision today, but, again, thank you, Ian, and thank you guys for both jumping on that call with me, because it's critical when they do these special meetings, because of these that are just trying to get, they try to pop them in
Yeah.
where they know that people can't get to these boards to make these decisions. So I think it was critical. I do appreciate it. And we'll make that decision tomorrow. And again, thank you, Ian, for putting it together. Appreciate it. With that, I think we've come to the end of it. Commissioner, I'll kind of bring you up to speed on the Ormiston pit, as far as it relates to a U.S. Forest Service aggregate transfer. This is the road in Dolores County. Dolores County has washed their hands of it. They don't want to have anything to do with it. It basically goes from 16 Road down to Bradfield Bridge, I think is what he said, right? That little mile, whatever it is, mile and a half. They got some he said logging trucks and stuck and had to pull them out with a dozer. And basically the road is in desperate need of repair. However, it's a county road and not a Forest Service road. And for me, it's in Dolores County, not Montezuma County, and I struggle with using our funds to fund another county. And like Ian said, I think if we set that kind of a precedence, we're really, what was the term you used? What was that attorney term you used?
Setting a precedent.
We're creating an environment of a precedence that, how do we stop? And I would agree with that. I mean, I get the request of, you know, gravel's right there and it's close, but it's really for our roads.
I guess where I was a little bit hazy on that request was, I mean, it sounded like the Forest Service has some rock there, so we wouldn't have to crush it, or is it all rock that's crushed by us?
They actually, see, that's rock that's crushed by us, but they have a certain percentage of it that they get 10,
8%.
8?
So just like
8%
on
of it's
the,
theirs,
Okay.
okay, that they get, the rest of it we get. The only thing, and I don't know what they've been doing as far as what Robin had been doing, but we used to do some maintenance on that because we were hauling off of there all the time.
we do, and he said that, we're still under our Schedule A agreement. We still have to keep it watered and
Graded.
graded while we're using it to haul. But this is a different request. They want to add to the road. They want to actually gravel the road, and the Forest Service says, we can't utilize our rock because it's not on Forest Service roads. That's actually a county
So
road.
it's the part coming up out of the canyon,
Yeah, from Bradfield up,
up,
so to the west.
yeah.
Yep.
And it's not our county road either. So we do, under our Schedule A agreement, we do water it, we do keep it tightened up while we're using it, but other than that, we don't. So that's, did I kind
Yeah,
of cover?
I mean, I think that sums it up. So,
And the other thing that I told the gentleman, I said is, you know, we have a lot of gravel pits that sell gravel that pay our taxes here too, and if we start stepping over private industry at that point in time, then I think
Well,
we're
the thing
really,
of it is, they come and got gravel from us before Dolores County has out of that pit. They've come and bought some gravel from us and actually put on that road.
I think he said this was all Forest Service gravel.
I mean, but I think there was that discussion that Dolores County does get gravel out of that pit. We sometimes trade with them, but apparently they don't want to be involved in
I
that.
mean, we've traded with them, done all kinds of things in the past as far
Yeah.
as getting some gravel
There was no,
there, so, I mean.
It seems like it's
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, I'm just looking for a way for them to do it themselves.
Well, I'm kind of
Well,
confused,
I'm up for trading, you know.
but they just wash their hands
Wash
of
their
it.
hands.
They don't want nothing to do with it.
No, that's
that was what was
exactly he said.
represented.
They don't want anything to do
Well,
with
I
it.
think we ought to have Rob talk to their road superintendent before we see what's really going on. See if Dolores County's actually trying to wash their hands from it, because, and I can see where they would, because as far as utilization, other than those campgrounds down there,
Yeah. And getting those logs off the hill, that's it.
the thing of it is, most of those are coming off well, not all of them, but a lot of
They're-
them coming off their Gwinnett side over there.
Yeah.
So,
But they still, once they come off the Narragansett side, they still gotta get up that
get up
road.
that road,
'Cause those two roads come together.
yeah.
But, you know, like I said, for me, not our county. I understand the request, I really do, but like I told them, I said, I've never had that kind of request come to me before, because it's not even in our county.
Yeah, and I don't know what they've been doing on that side. I guess
It
Dolores County has
amazes me
been
that
taking
the
care of it.
federal government doesn't have any money.
Have you
It's
asked
Dolores
Rob?
County Road.
Yeah.
They're paying for
I know
everybody to
they
eat.
traded back- We traded back and forth with them. I mean, when we was there.
So this was an ask of a donation
Yeah.
of 5,000 tons.
Oh, that's what he was asking, to donate the rock.
That's what he asked, was a donation of 5,000 tons. And that's, I struggle with that too, because we still have a cost associated with just producing it. And I think that's a,
I mean, I think if you was gonna do something like that, you'd have to get Rob to agree to let them have the 5,000 tons for some, that we furnished it to them for so much money, but I don't think you can just give it away.
and then that's my other
That
issue.
was
is
their
that
ask. They wanted for nothing.
It was donated.
That's so they can, I better keep my mouth shut.
Okay, well then, I guess, gentlemen, we've come, unless I've missed something, to the end of our workshop, and we are concluded.
What was Bobby?
She was here to look at that care contract, but Ian has looked it over. It's just kind of like all the DocuSigns before I can sign it. Yeah, we already talked about it. I was just bringing you-
Come in and go back out. I didn't know if we all looked that bad or what was going on.
I think Travis is just sending them down the road today.
Sending them down the road as fast as shit. Okay.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We are concluded.